The SmallCapPower Expert Interview.
I recently saw an interview that you did I think it was a couple months ago now on BNN, and you stated that Canada is in a great position to go up against heavy hitters in the liquefied gas industry.
Well, yeah, we're the closest country to the big markets of Japan, China, Taiwan, so we're going to have very low costs in getting the gas there. What everyone is getting concerned about is that our permitting issues could take a long time for us to get the gas going offshore, but I think how desperately Canada needs this is really going to win out at the end of the day. So right now, there's only one really big source of supply coming on stream before ours would be ready, and that's from Australia, and that's going to happen in the next year or two. But after that, it really is going to be pretty slim pickings, and we've got a great shot at being the next big supplier to Asia, where right now the profit margins are very strong.
Now with China, it's all about the relationship. How does the relationship with Canada and China sit right now?
So right now, the Chinese have come in and started buying some Canadian resource assets. But I think what's really important is that, particularly in the big LNG game, but even in some of the smaller LNG projects that are being proposed for Canada, they all have Chinese partners or Japanese partners or Malaysian partners. So they're part of the game. So yes, these companies realize that there's big profit margins there, but they're lowering their own costs by being involved on the supply side so they can take part of those profits.
How many oil and gas companies are there here at the show, would you say, today?
Only 3 or 4.
And they're all your favorites, right?
Some of them.
Are there any in particular that you would say to our investors, hey, check this company out?
Well, I think what's really important is to look for a company that would be here that has some fairly immediate catalysts. Some big piece of news that's going to be happening in the near term.
But how are you supposed to know who's having news?
Well, you just got to talk to the teams, right, and start following these companies. There's a group here with a new management team called PetroFrontier that's working in Australia, and Australia really is going to be the next big oil play in the world. So investors can go have a look at that company, I think, and start doing their research.
Anything that investors should be leery about with oil and gas?
Well, I think right now, particularly here in Canada, both the oil and the gas price are doing great, like as good as we could ever hope for. Part of that reason is a lower Canadian dollar, and another part of that is just seasonality. Generally, we use a lot more oil and gas in winter, and we've had a very, very cold winter. Everyone now talking about the polar vortex. Well, that has really created a lot of excess demand and helped drive up commodity prices, but that's temporary. Weather is temporary. So come the springtime, we could see a pretty big drop in oil and gas demand, which would cause a big drop in oil and gas prices. So I'm telling everybody right now, it's time to take some profits on these stocks that have done so well over the last 6-7 months and get ready to buy them back maybe in April to June.
You heard it. Keith Schaefer says it's time to take some profits. Thank you so much for your time, Keith. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for tuning in to SmallCapPower's expert interviews. As always, do your own research before making investment decisions. For now, I'm Tara Sweeter.
Keep up to date with all your favorite small caps. Subscribe to our free daily newsletter featuring investment ideas, breakout stocks, analyst research, and more. SmallCapPower.com. Investing ideas and research.